is the A to Z podcast. Expert insights on leadership, business, real estate, investing, and growth.
If you are a new supervisor, project manager, or team leader, you're going to find today's conversation very informative. Some years back, around 2016, I used to work for a national seminar company. We were providing a workshop on how to excel as a new supervisor or manager. In my conversations with participants inside the room and outside, what I learned is that many organizations unintentionally, they throw their first-time leaders into deep water and expect them to swim and survive. Unfortunately, the majority of them sink. It was painful for me. From that painful experience, I decided to write a book called Overcoming First-Timer Syndrome. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 essential shifts you have to make to succeed in your first-time role from the get-go. Let's begin with first, mindset shift. I want you to take yourself back into when you were an A player. You were a team member, you were very successful. And the things that you were doing, especially the way you think, helped you to succeed. That's why they promoted you. But if you keep on using those things that helped you to be a successful employee, now you are, as a supervisor, you're cooked. You cannot succeed. And I'm going to give you 3 areas where you can make shift in your psychology. The first one is your success now is not measured based on your output alone. You can come early, you can stay late, you can do whatever you do. It doesn't help you. It used to. Now you are a team leader or a project manager or supervisor. Your success is measured based on the collective output of your team, which requires you to invest more time on your people and help them to succeed so that collectively the team or the department or the project succeeds. The second area I want you to make a shift in your mentality is assertiveness. When you were an employee, you may be a nice guy or girl and you get along, you let people get whatever they want, you're a nice person. Good as an employee. But the moment you're promoted, you have to throw that out because nicety alone doesn't work. Yes, you have to be a good person, a nice person. You don't need to bully people. You don't need to be harsh, but you need to be assertive. If you don't do that, remember there are people. Some of them, they think that they are better leader than you. Maybe because they are older than you, experienced than you. Maybe they stayed in that company more than you do. And because of that, they may resent you. And knowingly or unknowingly, they may be pushing around your boundaries. And if you don't know how to be assertive without being bullied, you're cooked. The third area where you have to make mindset shift is how to handle friends, former colleagues, sometimes family members. When you were part of the team, you were a member of that team, you used to go out maybe for a drink with friends, colleagues, and sometimes family members. Now you are a leader. You have to create some kind of boundary. Otherwise, what happens? They expect you to go with them out there and have the same kind of talk. Maybe in the past, you used to say them versus us. Them means management. Now you are part of the management. In some cases, they may not invite you to go out for a drink. Just get over it. Even if they take you out, be careful because whatever you're saying about them, you don't know where that thing that you're saying gets, who's going to hear about it. You have to be loyal to the management because now they promoted you. You are part of them. You have to make a shift in that. Don't expect that some of your friends, family members, colleagues gonna be the same way. Now they think you are part of them. They may not trust you and they may not like you. Just get over that. Let's talk about the second shift you have to make, your skill sets. You have had great competencies and skill sets that you had that helped you to succeed as an employee. Some of them may help you now, but many of them they don't. You have to develop new skill sets. I'm going to share with you three skill sets that you need to develop very quickly. The first one is the ability to motivate others. So remember, when you were an A player, nobody was motivating you. Most probably, you were self motivated. But the people that you are leading now, all of them may not be motivated, self motivated. You need to know how to motivate them. Here is one thing you have to be careful. What motivates you may not motivate them. That's why you need to know your people, understand what motivates them, and give it to them so that they over deliver. The second competency that you need to develop is how to provide productive and effective feedback. When you were employee, you most probably got some feedback, but most of the feedback, I'm assuming, were very positive. Like, you're doing this, working for you, keep on, keep on doing it. Now you are the leader of a team, and some of your team members may not be performing, and you have to make them accountable. How? By providing feedback. Don't wait until the end of the year to provide performance feedback. Give them feedback on the fly. Know how to communicate what's working and what's not working, and very frequently. The third skill set that you need to have is how to grow your people. Remember earlier, I mentioned about your success is measured based on the collective results of your team. And therefore, if you need great results, if you want to improve performance, increase productivity, you have to know how to grow your people. And here is one caveat. Your people are at different stages of growth. You need to figure out who needs what. You may be the one coaching them, or maybe you need to work with human resources or talent development or training department, or maybe invite outsiders, coaches and trainers like myself to help your people to grow. The third shift that you have to make is a shift in how you document things. The artifacts, the documentations that you need to have. The first documentation you want to have is your leadership philosophy. I'm going to share my leadership philosophy as a sample in the description of this video. You don't need to have mine, but you need to have yours. I was motivated to have a leadership philosophy when I read a book called The 1 Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard. This is a very thin, small book. It was based on a towel. And the idea is, when you lead someone, make sure that you spend 1 minute beforehand. It's going to help you down the road. Of course, 1 minute is a proverbial figure. You may need to take more than 1 minute. The idea, however, is that when you lead a team, make sure that you share your leadership philosophy, which is, what does leadership mean to you? What are your values, your pet peeves? What do they expect from you? What you should expect from them? Explain that in one page. Share with them. I do that right now. If I'm leading a team, voluntary or otherwise, what I do is I send my leadership philosophy, asking them to read that one pager. And when we meet for the first time, I want them to give me their perspectives and also their own philosophy, and also answer their questions. That's going to help you a lot. I can give you one example. If you mention in your leadership philosophy that you make them accountable, next time when you provide them feedback, they don't take it personal. Otherwise, they may think like you're picking on them. But if you mentioned This is part of your philosophy, the way you do things. What happens when you provide them feedback? They don't take it personal because you told them that you're going to give them feedback regularly. The second artifact, the second documentation that you should have is a team charter or a project charter. I always encourage leaders, make sure that you have formal or informal charter. Sometimes your leaders may give you that. The previous leader may inherit that to you. If you don't have one, come up with one. It could be a couple of pages, but it saves you so much trouble. In that team charter or project charter, clearly state the goal of the project or the team. What are the milestones you're working on? The resources that are available to you, who does what, how you communicate within your team and outside of your team, and so on and so forth. When you have that documentation, when things are not going the right way, you can always bring the team back. Remember, we came up with this charter. According to this charter, this is how we should do it. Of course, come up with that team charter or project charter together with your team. Let them own that project charter or team charter. The last thing is going to be documenting the progress of your team. When you were employee, you didn't need to track anything. You perform, you don't need to track your performance. You are growing, you're not tracking your progress. Now you are a leader. I can give you a simple example. Let's say that one of your team members is not taking your feedback well. Let's say you gave them a couple of feedback, they're not doing it. Maybe you need to report to your boss or to human resources. When that time comes, what if the person says, you didn't give me any feedback? It's the first time that you told me. Where is your evidence? However, if you mentioned in your leadership philosophy that you get a document and track their progress, and also if you give them oral, for example, oral warning, let's say, if it's behavioral, if it is performance or growth related, you don't need to do that. But if it is a behavioral issue, one time I'll give you oral warning, second time I'm gonna write you email, third time I'm gonna take you to my supervisor or to human resources. They already know the path you're gonna follow. They don't take it personal. When you appear in front of a human resource or your supervisor, now you have documentation. You need to track not just this, but you need to track other things that you're doing. You need to document. The good thing is we have so many free platforms that you could use to track your progress, your team's progress live. In conclusion, when you are promoted to become a first-time leader as a project manager, team leader, or supervisor, you need to make quick shifts because first impression is very important. What you will do the first couple of weeks, days matter. If you stumble there, it's going to be difficult for you. And I shared with you the mindset shift that you have to make, the competency shift that you have to make, and the documentation and tracking progress shift you have to make. If you do these things, you could immediately see difference. You could be able to excel from the get-go. If you want to dive deep and learn more, you get what I shared here and more from my book, Overcoming First-Timer Syndrome. It's available on Amazon. And also in the description of this video, I'm going to share with you some free resources. And also we have masterclass and online courses. Go out there and get some of these resources. I wish you good luck, and I look forward to seeing you in another live session. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.